Sheikh Mansour al-Khalifa, believed he was giving the rarest gift a man could offer. A $4 million natural Gulf pearl, perfect and priceless. But the pearl was a counterfeit so cunning that only one person in the room could see it, and she wasn't a jeweler.
Amna, my light, for 25 years you have given me everything. Tonight, this pearl is yours, the rarest of the sea.
Mansour, it's magnificent. I have never seen such luster.
I authenticated it myself this morning. A natural pearl of the finest water. No cultured pearl could ever compare.
In the background, a waitress named Sophia Karam quietly filled champagne flutes. Her grandfather had been a pearl diver, a man who could read the sea's secrets with his bare hands.
That's not a Gulf pearl. It's a cultured bead from Lombok.
In 3 seconds, every story her grandfather had whispered by candlelight crashed into the present. The pearl was wrong. The ballroom roared with applause. No one else had seen it, not the guests, not the chaif, not the jeweler, but Sophia's fingers tightened around the bottle's neck. She had seen too much to unsee. She moved to the next table, but her gaze never left the pearl. The lessons of her grandfather surfaced like a drowning man's last breath.
A true pearl from the Gulf shows an X shape in candlelight. No cultured pearl can mimic that.
And a cultured pearl always has an off-axis drill hole, barely visible, but she saw it.
Grandfather said, "A fake pearl does not shimmer with the soul of the sea." I cannot let this lie stand. Not when his spirit taught me the truth.
But she was a waitress, invisible. One wrong word and she'd lose everything. She edged toward Amna, her lips parting, then pulled back, heart hammering.
Grandfather Ibrahim drowned diving for this family. His sacrifice demands I speak. Not here. Not in front of everyone. I must tell the sheikh alone.
She set the champagne bottle down. The 3-second truth burned inside her like a brand. Soon, it would erupt.
Hamid, bring the pearl. Let these friends see the soul of the Gulf one final time.
You see, a natural pearl has an inner fire that no cultured bead can counterfeit.
The applause surged, and for a terrifying moment, Sophia doubted herself. Was she wrong?
Number. The drill hole was off-axis. My grandfather showed me 100 times.
She stepped forward, close enough to Amna to feel the warmth of her presence.
Not yet. The sheikh would silence a waitress before she could finish.
Her hand retreated. The truth twisted inside her, demanding release. Faisal al-Khalifa noticed the waitress's frozen stare. His face tightened with a flash of warning. Then Sheikh Mansour's gaze followed his brother's. He saw Sophia's unblinking eyes.
He sees me. This is either the moment I speak, or the moment I am destroyed.
You, girl with the chignon, why do you stare as if you've seen a ghost? Speak, now.
The air thickened. Every face turned toward the lowly waitress who had not looked away.
Forgive me, but the pearl is not what it appears. It is a cultured bead from Lombok. Someone switched it.
What? Impossible. Hamid vetted it himself.
Lies. This servant knows nothing. I have worked with pearls for 30 years.
The ballroom erupted. All eyes locked on the waitress who had dared speak.
Look at it yourself, Sheikh. The luster is wrong. The drill hole is off-axis.
Enough. This servant insults my brother's gift. Remove her from this hall. Quiet, Faisal. Let the girl finish. I want to hear her proof.
I will explain exactly how I know, but you must listen. A natural pearl's surface is uneven, like a fingerprint. This one has uniform concentric rings. Concentric rings appear when a bead is coated in layers. No Gulf pearl shows this.
Mansour gestured for the pearl to be placed in her hand. She turned it slowly in the candlelight.
Ridiculous. This is a trick. A servant cannot know anything about pearls.
Look at the drill hole. It's off-axis. A natural pearl is pierced evenly.
A minor flaw. Pearls are not perfectly drilled.
I have seen pearls from Lombok. This exact pattern comes from a farm there.
How does a waitress know more about pearls than my jeweler?
Because my grandfather, Ibrahim Karam, was a pearl diver. He taught me the sea's secrets.
The ballroom held its breath. The jeweler's pride had cracked, but the full truth remained hidden.
But there is a final test. A real Gulf pearl shows a faint X-shaped cross when candlelight strikes it true.
She tilted the pearl toward the flame. No cross appeared, only a flat, lifeless gleam.
My grandfather showed me this as a child. He said the X was the soul of the Gulf pearl.
A few guests leaned forward, straining to see. The missing shadow was damning. In a real Gulf pearl, that candlelight would have bent into a delicate, ghostly X. But here it was absent.
I have heard old stories of this X shape, but never believed it. Show me again.
You cannot see it because it is not there, Sheikh. The pearl in your hand is dead.
Hamid's mouth opened, but no defense came. A murmur spread through the guests, a dangerous, shifting murmur.
This pearl was grown in Lombok, not found in the Gulf. My grandfather taught me to see what others miss.
The jeweler had no more words, but the identity of the one who paid him still lurked, unseen.
This servant seeks attention. She disrespects the Al Khalifa table.
I disrespect nothing. I honor my grandfather's truth.
Your grandfather, a poor diver with no education. What could he teach? Faisal, enough. Let her speak, but choose your words carefully, girl.
The Sheikh's trust was a fragile bridge between his blood and this stranger, in a bow tie.
My grandfather taught me to see the soul of a pearl. You, sir, seem eager to bury it.
Faisal's eyes narrowed into slits of cold fury. The room felt the chill. Mansour looked from his brother's twisted face to the waitress's unbroken composure. He did not understand the war beneath the words.
I only speak what I know, if that offends. The truth is still the truth.
Something dark flickered behind Faisal's glare, a secret he would kill to protect.
My grandfather didn't die from incompetence. He drowned diving for a pearl your family ordered in 1981.
A young Sheikh Mansour had stood on the deck that day, watching the old diver vanish beneath the waves, Ibrahim Karam's lungs filled with water. He never resurfaced.
After his death, the pension your family promised was cut. We were left with nothing.
Mansour's face went slack. He remembered the old man's name. He remembered the useless condolences. The pension record, stamped canceled, had buried her family's name for decades. Faisal's lips pressed into a thin line. He had not expected the waitress to wield such a monstrous truth.
Ibrahim, your grandfather was Ibrahim, the diver my father admired.
He gave his breath for your pearl, and your family forgot him.
The ballroom's chandeliers suddenly felt like tombstones. The sheikh was silent, but his world had just cracked wide open.
It was a mistake. The pearl might have been substituted. I don't know how.
Faisal's glare cut across the table, a razor-thin warning. Hamid's mouth snapped shut. The jeweler's face drained to ash as he realized his leash was being yanked.
Hamid al-Bari, you will tell me the truth, or you will never work in this country again.
Security guards moved in at Mansour's gesture. Taking Hamid by the arms, Hamid cast a desperate look at Faisal, but the brother's face was stone.
He's more than a jeweler's mistake. That look. Faisal owns him.
The ballroom watched Hamid dragged out, his reputation shattered, but the real poison remained. Faisal straightened his cufflinks, a cold smile barely suppressed at the corner of his mouth. Sophia knew then that the monster was still in the room. In a private salon, Mansour faced the sweating jeweler. Faisal stood at the sheikh's shoulder, a watchdog of false loyalty. Sophia waited at the door.
Forgive me, Sheikh. I was paid to switch the pearl. I did it for money.
Who paid you? Speak the name.
I cannot. He will destroy me. Please, I beg you.
Hamid's panicked eyes flicked toward Faisal for a fraction of a second.
Then you will rot in a cell until you remember.
Brother, calm yourself. This coward was clearly used by an enemy. Let the police find the real culprit.
His voice is steady, but his fingers are white on his cufflink. He's afraid.
Mansour waved for the guards. Hamid was dragged out, sobbing. The confession had vindicated Sophia, but the real serpent still coiled in the light. The sheikh turned to Sophia, his expression raw. The pearl was a lie, and a blood treason lurked inches away.
You have my eternal thanks, Sophia. Whatever you need, it is yours.
I ask only that my grandfather Ibrahim be remembered with honor.
Such humility. Truly, brother. This woman is a gift from God, but we must find who bribed Hamid. The Al-Mansuri clan would love to see us shamed.
He turns the knife toward a rival who exists only in his lie.
Mansour nodded, accepting the false counsel as a shield. The serpent was guiding the hand that held the sword. Faisal's gaze flickered. A serpent testing the air before settling into a mask of meek concern.
I must find proof. His mask will slip if I pull the right thread.
The sheikh embraced her as a daughter, his gratitude a balm. Faisal watched, his smile a frozen mask. The celebration resumed outside, but the real war had only just begun within these walls.
Hamid's terrified eyes had darted to Faisal like a man begging his executioner for pardon, and Faisal used the word substitution before anyone had proven the pearl was switched. He knew. Even before Hamid cracked, he described exactly what happened.
The memory tightened in her chest. Faisal's slip was the thread she needed.
It was the brother. Faisal bribed Hamid. He planned to humiliate Mansour publicly. I have to tell him. Alone. Before Faisal buries the truth forever.
She found the sheikh near the grand staircase, his spirit bowed by the weight of the night.
Sheikh, forgive me. I must speak with you alone. It's about who truly paid Hamid.
Mansour's brow furrowed, but he nodded and gestured her toward a quiet alcove. In the ballroom, Faisal's stare turned to ice as the alcove door closed behind them. In the cramped alcove, under a single sconce, Sophia faced the sheikh whose world she had just saved and was about to shatter.
Sheikh, the man who bribed Hamid is your brother. Faisal ordered the switch.
Faisal, you accuse my own blood after I have opened my heart to you.
I do not accuse lightly. Hamid looked at Faisal in terror. Your brother used the word substitution before it was proven.
A slip of the tongue means nothing. Faisal is my brother. He has stood by me for decades.
And yet he tried to silence me when I first spoke. He mocked my grandfather. Why so eager, Sheikh, unless he had something to hide?
You are asking me to destroy my family, on the word of a stranger.
I am not a stranger to loss, Sheikh. My grandfather gave his life for your family. I would not lie to dishonor his memory.
Mansour's fist tightened against the wall. Denial was a fortress, but her words were battering rams. He did not yet accept the truth, but the seed of a monstrous doubt had been planted deep. The alcove door slammed open. Faisal stood silhouetted, his features twisted with rage.
You whispering viper, my brother saved you from ruin, and you poison his ear with filth.
He turned to Mansour, pointing at Sophia like a prosecutor.
Her grandfather was a useless diver who drowned because he had no skill. Now she blames us for his weakness.
He dove on your father's orders for a rare pearl the Al-Khalifa demanded. That pearl was meant to seal a treaty. My grandfather died for your family's politics.
Mansour's memory ignited. He was 11, standing on the deck, the old diver's hand vanishing under the green water. The pension that could have saved us from hunger. Your own accountant canceled it a month after Ibrahim's lungs filled with water. Faisal's mouth opened to sneer, but no sound came. The calculation in his eyes turned to panic.
I was there. I saw Ibrahim go under. Father said he was a hero. Why was the pension cut?
Faisal's mask, so carefully worn, had slipped beyond repair, and Mansour saw the truth he had refused to see. Mansour's hand shot out and clamped around Faisal's collar, yanking him close, face to face with his own blood.
You did this. You used my gift to try to destroy me. Speak the truth now, or by God, you will not walk out of this room.
Why not? The truth is simple, brother. I wanted your seat. The board would have named me head by noon. The fake pearl was supposed to be exposed at the press conference tomorrow morning. A public disgrace. But this common waitress ruined it.
Faisal's lips twisted into a bitter grin, all pretense gone. He spat the words as if they were acid.
Yes, I paid Hamid. I chose Lombok because only a diver's ghost could ever see the difference. But your little servant girl saw it in 3 seconds.
Mansour's grip loosened, his face crumbling from fury into a grief Sophia had never seen on a man so powerful.
He's destroyed. and I did what I had to do, but I never wanted to be the blade that cut his family apart.
No one spoke. The alcove held only the sound of Faisal's ragged breathing and the shattering of decades of brotherhood. The truth was fully bared. Mansour now faced an unimaginable choice between justice and blood.
You are no longer my brother. Exiled, stripped of every title and share. Leave Doha by dawn.
Faisal's sneer fractured into something hollow. He stumbled backward, hand-clawing the doorframe for support. Then Mansour turned to Sophia. His eyes glistened as he lowered himself to one knee, a gesture no sheikh had ever offered a servant.
By the soul of Ibrahim Karam, I swear, his pension will be restored, and our new pearl farm will bear his name. Forgive my family.
Rise, Sheikh. I only ever asked that his truth be told.
She clasped his hands, pulling him gently to his feet. The weight of decades, heavier than any pearl, began to lift. Mansour pulled a thin leather folder from his coat. He began writing the decree on the spot, the ink still wet with atonement. The document declared, Ibrahim Karam Pearl Farm, pension reinstated in perpetuity. By order of Sheikh Mansour al-Khalifa, the alcove, once a crypt of betrayal, had become a sanctuary of restitution. But the public reckoning still waited outside that door. The truth had to be given to the world. Mansour strode back into the ballroom, a decree in his hand and a new weight in his step. The chattering guests fell silent.
Friends, tonight I offered my wife the rarest pearl of the Gulf, but I was deceived. The pearl was a cultured fake from Lombok, yet in the same moment, I found a truer gem. This woman, Sophia Karam, granddaughter of a diver who gave his life for my family. She saw the lie in 3 seconds.
A collective gasp swept the room. Aimna pressed a hand to her heart, tears brimming.
The betrayal came from my own blood. My brother Faisal bribed the jeweler and planned to humiliate me before the world. Tonight, I announce a new decree. The Karam family pension shall be restored, and our new pearl farm shall be named after the hero Ibrahim Karam.
The room erupted, not with confusion, but with a thunderous standing ovation. Crystal glasses trembled under the applause. Amna rushed forward and clasped Sophia's hands, her voice breaking with gratitude.
I only did what my grandfather would have done. He taught me that a real pearl carries the soul of the sea, and a lie cannot hide from the light.
The waitress in the crimson bow tie, once invisible, now stood at the center of a story that would be told for generations. The pearl was fake, but the justice was real. At Mansour's signal, security took Faisal. The brother who wore gold now walked in shame, head bowed. No one looked away. The guests who had once bowed to Faisal now witnessed his disgrace. Their whispers a low rumble of judgment.
Sophia, you have given us back our honor tonight. How can I ever repay such courage?
This is enough, my lady. To see my grandfather remembered is all my heart ever wanted.
Amna pulled Sophia into a tight embrace, her tears falling on the waitress's shoulders as if she were her own daughter.
May we never again forget those who gave their breath for our pearls.
The applause rose again, not for the sheikh, but for the waitress in the crimson bow tie who had dared to speak.
My grandfather gave his last breath for a pearl, yet the truth he taught me is worth more than any treasure. I hope now he rests in honor.
Mansour stood behind her, a sheikh humbled, his remorse as visible as his gratitude. The night had begun with a counterfeit gift. It ended with a legacy restored and a humble waitress at its heart. Mansour drew her aside, away from the crowd, and pressed the leather decree into her hands.
This is yours, Sophia. The pension is reinstated, and the farm charter bears your grandfather's name.
I am grateful, Sheikh, but let the farm honor him truly. Use only the old diving methods, no modern machines.
It shall be as you say. Ibrahim Karam's way will guide us.
She opened a small velvet pouch and took out a tiny natural pearl, her grandfather's talisman. When she lifted it to the candlelight, a faint X-shaped cross glimmered on its surface.
This is what he died for, a pearl that holds the soul of the sea. Let this be the farm's first seed.
Mansour nodded, his throat tight. The old diver's legacy would live in the water and in the very name of the farm. She placed the pearl gently on the polished wood, the X shape still visible in the warm light. The decree and the pearl, side by side, sealed a promise that would outlast any fortune, a promise of honor restored. Weeks later, Sophia Karam walked the shoreline of a place that now bore her grandfather's name, Abraham Karam Pearl Farm. Beside the new dock, a polished stone bore his image and a simple epitaph. He gave his breath for the pearl's soul.
You are not forgotten, grandfather. The sea will whisper your name with every pearl it yields.
From a small wooden box, she withdrew a natural pearl, a talisman her grandfather had pressed into her palm long ago. Gently, she placed it on the stone, a pearl of the Gulf. A piece of his soul returned to the water's edge. The sea sighed against the shore. In the distance, a diver surfaced, clutching an oyster. Sophia watched, her hand resting over her heart. The old ways would not die with her grandfather, and on the stone, the pearl caught the dying sun, and for a fleeting second, a faint X flickered on its surface. The soul of the Gulf alive once more.
Sleep well, grandfather. Your truth is now the sea's truth forever.
She turned and walked toward the farm, her shadow stretching long on the sand. A waitress no longer, but the guardian of a legacy. Sophia now teaches young divers the old signs, the luster, the drill hole, the X-shaped soul of the Gulf Pearl. The Ibrahim Karam Pearl Farm flourishes, producing natural Gulf pearls once more. Her grandfather's talisman, a pearl with that faint X shape, becomes a symbol of authenticity, a holy mark against cultured lies. In a world of flashy wealth, a waitress reminded a sheikh of what is truly valuable. The truth is not in the price tag, but in the soul. And the soul of the sea now lives in every pearl that rises from these waters. Sophia Karam never returned to the ballroom. She stayed where the sea whispered her grandfather's name. And when the candle flickers just right, you can still see the X-shaped light that exposed a billion-dollar lie. A reminder that the sharpest eye often belongs to the humblest soul. This was the night a waitress, in a crimson bow tie, saw the truth in 3 seconds and never looked away. Under a single flame, the pearl reveals its soul, an X-shaped cross that no cultured bead can fake. That subtle, ghostly mark is the memory of the Gulf, the signature of a genuine pearl. Sophia Karam saw the absence of that mark in a fraction of a breath. In 3 seconds, she knew the truth that eluded experts and billionaires alike. She held that knowledge like her grandfather's hand, steady and sure. She spoke, and the empire of lies collapsed. A waitress, a crimson bow tie, and the soul of the sea. In 3 seconds, she saw what no one else could, and she never looked away, fade to black.